Rap groups were much more common in the early days of hip-hop, and there is a lot of stories surrounding them. In the 90s, rap groups were instantly recognizable by their regional-based sounds and looks. People took pride in being fans of groups from their area, and sometimes, beef between the groups caused tension in the streets. Cypress Hill and Westside Connection were two widely loved California-based groups whose beef could have turned into a deadly war. Cypress Hill. Cypress Hill is a West Coast rap group whose full lineup consisted of members Be Real, Sendog, Eric Bobo, and DJ Muggs. Mellow Man Ace, brother of Sendog, would leave the group just before the group adopted the name Cypress Hill. You more than likely heard their big hit, Insane in the Brain. Cypress Hill would go on to have a long and involved career with chart and critical success that included them using rock elements in their music, touring with rock bands, incorporating reggae into their music, and more. Naturally, the individual members each had solo efforts too, both while they were with the group and during periods of hiatus too. With over 10 projects in their discography and such a long legacy, it's no surprise they were also the first rap group to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Welcome to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Cypress Hill.
Westside Connection. Westside Connection was a supergroup that consisted of rappers Mac 10, Dub C, and Ice Cube. When they formed their group in 1995, they already had successful solo careers, as well as endeavors with their own groups, respectively. Where Cypress Hill was known for having a unique and wide-ranging sound, Westside Connection stuck to the core West Coast sound. Their chart-topping hit, Gangsta Nation, also featured another member of West Coast royalty, Nate Dogg, rest in peace.
Girls out here without fuck. These moves out here will break the buck. I have no fear, afraid of one.
The group only released 2 albums, titled Bow Down and Terrorist Threats, but their moment in time was certainly important in the late 90s and early 2000s. They were right in the midst of the shift of the general sound of hip-hop and adapted to it, but still kept the spirit of the previous era alive in their own way. The beef begins. Cypress Hill and Westside Connection's beef started with the music. As we all know, Ice Cube wrote Friday with DJ Pooh, and it became a cultural phenomenon. Naturally, with him coming from the rap world, the soundtrack was just as important to him as anything else about the movie, and he wanted the best of the best on it. He was already friends with Be Real of Cypress Hill, and thus sought them out to have a song on the soundtrack for the movie. After picking one titled Roll It Up, Light It Up, Smoke It Up, Cypress Hill offered to play him even more music.
That's perfect, me and Muggs asked him, hey man, we got a couple of tracks from the album you want to hear? We played him a song called Throw Your Set in the Air. And he's like, oh, that's banging. That's just banging. Can I get that for the movie instead? They're like, man, we'd love to give it to you, but this is going to be the single on our album. He said, all right, cool. So he said, can I hear it again? So we played it again for him. We played it for him a couple of times over because he wanted to hear it again.
Friday released on April 26, 1995, and Cypress Hill's album Temples of Boom was scheduled to release on October 31st, the same year. However, the hook on the lead song from the Friday soundtrack, aptly titled Friday, sparked the ears of Cypress Hill.
If you don't care, oh yeah, throw your neighborhood in the air. If you don't care, standing out.
Now let's take a listen to Throw Your Sets in the Air by Cypress Hill, which they played for Cube before it was released.
Throw your set in the air, wave it around like you just don't care. Throw your set in the air, wave it around like you just don't care.
Now, this may sound like something we've heard anyone and everyone say during live shows, but the way Ice Cube said it was very similar to how Be Real said it, and that's where the issue truly was. And of course, the context of the whole situation was the biggest factor.
Is, the same. It's like some of the words changed around, but for the most part, the chorus is the same.
Naturally, the members of Cypress Hill didn't like this, especially since they had already agreed to give Ice Cube one of their songs for the soundtrack, and he took a hook from a different song. Ice Cube caught wind of them speaking against him on a radio appearance they made, but initially, Be Real tried to get it all smoothed out.
Matt said for him to say Cypress Hill and radio this.
So he calls me, asked me if, why we're dissing him, and I said, hey man, the guys feel like you snatched up the song.
It was a misunderstanding where they thought that I took one of their hooks, just that hook.
Sitting there telling me that he was, he didn't do it. It's, we're friends and this is hip hop and everything. And I thought, yeah, it could happen. It's hip hop, I said, you know what, let me talk to them. I'll straighten it out.
After the issue was seemingly fixed, Cube asked Be Real to do a verse with a new group he had just signed to his record label, Lynch Mob Records, named Caution. The group consisted of members Cell, Gonzo, and Kato. During the recording process with Be Real, something all too familiar would happen.
And I heard a couple lines that were the same things I used on the Temple of Boom record. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, that's my line. How the hell is it on this record? It's like, damn, again, in my opinion, I felt like he saw my reaction and I walked out of the room for a second to make a phone call. When I came back, the line was gone. And I was thinking, oh, wait a minute, that line ain't there no more. Okay, I know I'm not tripping. So I come back and I have a talk with these guys again, Muggs, and I said, hey, I think he really did take our shit.
The situation is how the diss tracks would begin. But before we get into them, we need just a little more context. The King-Son connection. Back in 1992, Ice Cube released a song called Wicked, the first single from his third album called The Predator. This song was stolen by him from King-Son, a Bronx rapper. King-Son had a demo tape with the original version of the song on it, and once Cube heard it, he made it his own and released it officially. In the current day and age, one rapper may do a demo or a reference track for a song, and then another rapper releases an official version. The original demo sometimes appears online somewhere, and fans discuss whose version was better, and things like that. However, when the official version is released, both artists usually mutually agree on it. This was not the case with Ice Cube, King-Son, and Wicked. King-Son told the story of what happened himself on the Circle the Block radio channel on YouTube.
So at the time they came over, and Ice-T was coming to syndicate stage. He rap syndicate. Yeah. I tell you that myself, Lord Finette, Ice-T's, Donald King. So I gave Cube a tape. So yo, Cube, yeah, LA, give this tape to Ice so my shit could be on the syndicate out. Ice never got that tape. But it wound up, there's a break in the song that says, we got wicked, that much it don't want, second time we got wicked, that much it don't want, second time we got wicked. So you wound up being Ice Cube, we get wicked, everybody come around and get wicked. So he kind of took this. Right. So we calling Cube, I'm listening one day and I'm like, damn, that Cube wicked. We're not drunk. So my baby moms at the time was like, that's the from your song, In Pursuit Uptown. Give me. I called Ice-T, I called McBench, I called Ice called Killer, then I called Shay. This was Slimway, we on our three-way phone. Really? Yeah. I started here, we had to wake up Cube like I just praying this for us. So yeah, man, it's 6 o'clock there. He basically came down there for us to chill out. Then you get my set. Ice on the phone, neck on the phone, shorty in the bars, and Cube up, turning inside. All right, so I said, Cube, you come to New York, sit down with me, man. You those we gotta stop. It never heard from him yet.
The diss tracks between. Be Real was aware of some aspects of this situation because the Cypress Hill diss track against Ice Cube was called No Rest for the Wicked. It would appear on their October 1995 album Temples of Boom and feature multiple direct disses for Cube. As Be Real mentions Cube, his song titles, and more, his vocals are overlaid with Ice Cube's saying the same thing, which doubles down on the point of the diss in the first place.
Bitch ass mother, Peter Pie ass. Stand on your own 2 feet, bitch. How the you gonna bite somebody else's dick? Yours ain't long enough to put in your mouth, punk. Turn that shit up with that shit. Mugs. Make it rough.
So many fools swinging from my sack. Let's talk about the one who had my back. Down in the West Coast, so let me kick it. To the mother who calls himself wicked.
Sin Dog was on No Rest for the Wicked with speaking roles, but initially did not want to get involved.
What's to say something about Sin Dog? Sin even had a conversation with Cube and said, Cube, man, I remember No Vaseline. I ain't got nothing to do with this.
and we still went on him because that's how gangster it was at the time. And we didn't know was that a setup or what? So we just covered all bases. Thin Dog too.
Considering the backstory and the shout out he got on the song, it's no surprise King's son would join Cypress Hill's side in the beef, especially since Be Real talked to him in person about it.
The dude from Cypress Hill was at the door to Be Real. In the peephole, she was like, yo, I think this dude, Cypress Hill, was at the door. And so I said, damn Cypress, which is how the gods speak, damn Cypress me itself. So I was like, damn Cypress. She said, yo, dude from Cypress Hill at the door. So I go look in the peephole with this Be Real. So I go like, hey. So he was like, yo, can I speak to King's son? So I opened the door. When I opened the door, it's Be Real, and it's my man, Ray Roll, who works with Dice Smoking, okay, from Bedford Park. So, you know, my man, rest in peace, Ray Roll, he was our Rob's hip-hop country. He messed with the real cat, right? Puerto Rican brother, but he was kind of like a big pun dude, but he was a real cat. Shout out to Ray Roll, rest in peace, Bedford Park. And so, I'm like, yo, come here, but like, yo, son, we doing this show downtown, and you know, Ice Cube at Red Eye Joint too from the movie Friday, and that, like, this, that, and the third, we want you to come down and represent. So I was like, y'all came up to the Bronx, you know, I ain't gonna disappoint you. I got dressed and we went down. I believe the show was on like 33rd and Jackson or something like that. Went down and they had pictures of Ice Cube with red circle, paint, boom. So they were popping off. So we get down to the show. Some Brooklyn cats was wilding. Brooklyn is just wilding. And that's how Brooklyn do back in our day. So one Brooklyn cat, we walking up in the spot, a Brooklyn cat threw a bottle. And when he threw a bottle, it hit the top of the doorway. And when the glass came down, it cut Be Real nose. And Be Real had to be rushed to the hospital. So me, Muggs, and I forget my other dude name, the dark-skinned dude, Sin Dog, right, pardon me. I'm getting up at me, Muggs, and Sin Dog. They finished the show. And we rocked off, and there's footage of that should be on Ralph McDaniel video music. We rocked it off, and Be Real was at the hospital, but also held them down. You know, Cypress Hill in the Ice Cube situation. And let me say this to Ice Cube, man. Let me say this while we're right here with, and it's not just Ice Cube. It's like all the NWA. And I really want to say this to Snoop Dogg and so with. It's like all the brothers that brought Set Trippin' and that California life of gang bang to all these other 48 states or 49 states. That's not gang bangers, man. Out the game, bro.
Ice Cube, who dropped one of the greatest disses of all time with No Vaseline, would respond to Cypress Hill with a play on words based track called King of the Hill. It appears on the Westside Connection album, Bow Down.
It ain't over, mother. Every few years, got to get they mother caps peeled back. Every few years, think they can deal with the real. Now I got the Cypress Hill. I got a boy you should fear. I drink a beer, bust a rapping in your career. You cowards never seen a hood high powered like the Westside Connection. Slide me my tech. I got him. Soon as I spot him, I'm dumping. Gotta treat these bitch ass like they stole something.
Mac 10 has a verse on this track. However, Mac 10 had no specific issues with Cypress Hill himself, but stuck by Cube's side.
Mug, Sin Dog, nobody from Cypress Hill. And it was blood. But I was witches, so I didn't give a.
Meanwhile, Dub C had a brief and semi-neutral appearance at the very end of the track because he wanted to mainstay his friendship with Cypress Hill throughout all of this.
We was homeboys. So if you notice, Dub C ain't on that record.
Dub told me that he knew them, and that's why he stayed out of it or whatever. So I don't give a fuck about know you or not. That's the way I was raised, though. My daddy was a gangster, and that's how he instilled that in me. You ride with your right or wrong. Talk about it and tell us how wrong he was later, after the fact. But if it's going down, you got to ride with it.
Cypress Hill acknowledged that the King of the Hill diss was a great one, but Be Real made a chess move with it.
Came out, I had lyrics sent to me from unknown sources.
The day after it came out, B just took their beat, killed them on it.
We basically did what Cube had been known to do other people, you know, which is jack their beats and just the shit out of them over it, you know.
Rapping over someone else's beat is something we've been seeing people do on mixtapes for years. We also see artists do freestyles on other people's beats. It's often done as a seal of approval or a sign of respect. In some cases, it becomes a challenge as up-and-coming artists try their hand at a verse for a chance to work with the creator of the original song. In other cases, using someone else's beat is done for diss purposes. Ice Cube Killer, the Cypress Hill track, features someone whom Be Real included as yet another layer to reference Cube directly.
Named LC, come on the track, and he sounded like Cube did when he was with NWA, you know, like a mirror. He's looking in the mirror, dissing himself.
The track is filled with direct shots at Cube and Mac 10.
Ice Cube is a thing of the past. If I got no nuts, it's because they still stuck in your ass. You're the king of punks, king of busters, king of thieves. Now get down on your fucking knees.
Bow down.
Start your sucking. My name should be Mac 11. I'm a higher caliber MC. There's no question. Anytime you wanna run up, you get dealt with. You get melted. Check yourself or get checked. Ice Cube, you better tell him. Muggs made your best songs on your third album.
Next, Be Real would take things to an even higher visual level, and this is where things started to take off more than expected.
A Rap Sheets pay-per-view where I had his shirt crossed out with a big red X, both from his side coming to me, you know, like, hey man, you know, it wasn't right what he did and blah, 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 and this and that. Pretty soon Cam and Solo came to me.
This would be the end of the diss track exchange, but one more accident would occur, and unfortunately, it happened outside the booth and brought more people into the situation. Things get physical. Whenever it comes to beef, the chance of things getting physical is always a possibility, but nobody wants it to come to that. In the case of Cypress Hill and Westside Connection, it actually occurred because of some other people who had an issue with Ice Cube. Artists Cam and Solo were having contractual issues with him.
Woke him back up, whooped on his ass. Somehow his chain fell in my hand. I don't know how it got in my hand, but it fell in my hand. Then all of a sudden his Rolex started jumping off and coming into my hand. I don't know how that happened.
I guess Solo knocked out Cube and took his Westside Connection chain.
Here's Solo talking about the situation years later on the Unique Access Entertainment YouTube channel.
You know, your beef and situation with Cube, you know, now looking back on it, how do you think you learned from it? How did you repair your guys' relationship? How did you kind of like move past it?
Well, it's nothing I learned from it. Okay. I mean, because it's just hood that happened. You know, people that's not hood and not in the streets like I was at that time, bro, took it like, oh, you just beat the Don Mecca up. You just robbed the Don Mecca. You just did this to the Don Mecca, because people look at Cube as, you know, he's the gangster.
Right.
Like, you better watch out. No, he better watch out. That's how it was at that time, bro. You know what I mean? And when that happened, when that incident happened with me and Cube, it was nothing to me. That's just, it fell into what you do as being in the streets at that time. That's just me. If me and you get into a fight and we scrapping, bro, and something on you I need, that's just how it was going, bro.
Right.
You know, that's what happens. You know, you still see that to this day. Fight jump off, the dude get off the bottom of the pile. Where my watch at? Where my necklace at? That's just how stuff was, bro.
Right.
So, you know, people took it crazy and stuff, but me and Q, we kind of hammered that down. You know, Mac 10 intervened in the middle of it and tried to squash it, because I was just going everywhere with the chain on and was daring anybody to do anything. You know, it's a lot of stuff that people don't know, that when, you know, I went to his neighborhood and told everybody in his neighborhood, bro, this is a true story, man, he can have his chain back. And I used to wear it all the time and didn't worry about nobody taking it from me. And I was like, he can have his chain back, bro, as long as he come back and fight me again. But Q just was like, nah, man, we gonna let that ride, you know what I mean? Right. So Mac 10 orchestrated the deal. I give Mac 10 a chain. Mac 10
tell me he gonna get me all this stuff, he gonna give me this, and it took too long to where I start pressing Mac 10 like, well, you better get my fucking chain back. And he was like, man, Solo, that it wasn't yours from the jump, bro. Get my chain back or give me yours. It's gonna happen one way or the other. I'm gonna get my W back, bro. So I ended up getting paid. Mac 10 ended up taking care of me, making sure it was straight. Then me and Cube ended up sitting down, man. Man to man. Sitting down. He was filming the Jamie Foxx show and Players Club at the time. And he had these black eyes because I didn't know I did him that bad because I spazzed out. And he had these big black glasses on. And I can remember us sitting in Jerry's Deli and he was just shaking the whole table while he was sitting there with me. And I was like, dude, calm down, man. I know you, bro. Right. We ain't got to go through all this, man. Let's just figure some things out. So he was inviting me to Laker again. He just wanted to make it a bond even tighter. But my loyalty to Cam was worth more than signing and making more money. Now, should I have thought about, things back then? Because Q was laying it. When I tell you he was laying it out for me, bro, he was laying it out. Calling me to come to studios, Larrabee Studios. Man, Solo, I'm going to make you this. I'm going to make you in charge of that. And I was like, nah. Take care of Cam, man. But I didn't know all why I was saying take care of Cam because certain things that Cam was doing financially wise, I didn't understand. They was beefing over taxes. Right. Taxes getting paid. I didn't have no knowledge of that. I just thought the man owed the man some bread. So this my dude, bro. Give him his money. Right. Are we gonna keep this process going? We gonna keep getting pressed. So we end up squashing it though, man. And I ran into him, man, and that Crazy Tune, rest in peace, man, his funeral. And man, Q hugged, we talked, man, and he was like, you can feel the sincereness.
If Solo sounds familiar to you, check out this video from the Fall Damage YouTube channel.
Cool what? Slanging dope and throwing up gang signs? Yeah, right. Ooh, cool what? Slanging dope and throwing up gang signs? Yeah, right. This is iconic to be a part of this, I ain't never dreamed of this, to be honest with you. I can't lie and say this was a dream come true. This was very unexpected that it came to me. I end up embracing it, and look, I'm known around the world, not just known in the hood.
Now, here's Cam talking about the entire situation with DJ Vlad.
What was Solo's issue with you?
That was my, it was me,
So he was writing for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I would, it was basically to the point that whoever seen first, whoever seen first. Solo was like, what's up? Hit him up and he hit him back up. And then just to cut to the chase, Solo was like, nigga, you got a problem with me, nigga? Like, nah, I ain't got no problem with you. You got a problem with me? Like, you got a problem with my homeboy, though. He's like, your homeboy got a problem with me. And then he's like, pull over, man. You know what I'm saying? And he pulled over.
So Cube actually pulled over?
Yeah.
He was by himself?
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, like I said, it wasn't no punk move.
He stood up for himself?
Yeah. So I got to give him that.
But then Solo
stood up for himself.
He got the best of that situation.
Yeah, but like,
didn't Be Real?
Yeah.
Hold it up at a concert?
Yeah, but he didn't give it to him. But he gave it to him to take, just to clown with. He was walking through the mall with it on. Like, I mean, it's just
Solo actually was wearing that chain around.
I mean, that's just how to clown. Like you clown, like, you know what I'm saying. So nobody got shot, nobody got stabbed. Like, you know what I'm saying. It was whatever. It was a fist fight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying. That's what happened. Mac 10, him and Solo, he was trying to make peace and this and that, but he was laughing, like we was all laughing about it or whatever. It wasn't no serious like that.
So Mac 10 came in and got the chain back.
He didn't get the chain back,
Negotiated?
He purchased the chain back, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they had to buy the chain back.
They didn't have to do nothing.
But they did buy the chain back.
Something like that. You should get Solos because I can be misquoted.
Do you have any idea how much they bought the chain back?
I don't know.
No idea.
It's just the principle of it. You know what I'm saying? Because, that was a trophy. It meant something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we know it meant something. So we gonna flaunt it and claim it's the East Side thing. This is a Watson Compton thing. Like,
so you were actually around the chain as well?
Yeah.
Were you wearing the chain around yourself?
Yeah, I was the one wearing it. Solo didn't want to wear it.
Oh, so you wore it in the mall and stuff like that. Yeah.
Chains are one of the highest symbols of status, whether it has the logo of a label or, in the case of Ice Cube, a symbol directly tied to a rapper's identity. It's a big deal to have one bestowed upon you, or to have it made yourself, but to get it taken from you is one of the biggest L's possible. Taking a chain from Ice Cube is something people from that time, and even today, honestly, would never even dream of. But, as the story said, Be Real took things a step further.
To the crowd go crazy. They go bananas off of it.
And we're like, well, let's take pictures with it.
You didn't take the chain. Why you wearing it? What you proving? How many brownie points you getting for that? You didn't take it. That's the way I felt at the time.
It was a pretty interesting time because, it created a lot of a split here in LA between black and brown,
This decision pushed things to a different level. Many people were worried about the threat of gun violence as a result of the fans reacting to the beef. And gun violence was already an ongoing issue throughout the state of California.
Hey man, we're gonna ride for you on this one. You just say the word.
They would not want to see Cypress Hill in LA. They get ran the fuck out of LA. Dead up. The essays rule the streets in LA.
Fortunately, that never was the case, and the situation was solved by the simplest and most straightforward way: a phone conversation between Ice Cube and Be Real.
They said Be Real want to holler at you.
He asked me, so what's it gonna take for you and Cube to squash this? I said, just like you, all he's gotta do is call me and we'll talk it out.
And I explained to him where I was coming from. I don't got nothing to do with it, but that's my homeboy, and I'm riding with it. And he said, you know what, homie? I can respect that. I can't even be mad at you. I respect that. If that's where you coming from with it, Mac, I respect
Cube. He called me like on, I think it was January 1st in 97. Like, hey, what's going on, man? Let's talk this thing out, And so I said, yeah, all right. Before we talk this out, this is why I did what I did, because I want you to really know that, this ain't for nothing. The shit we've been talking is pretty heavy, so we can go on, keep doing this, and sooner or later we'll run into each other. It's a small world. You want to squash it right now, we can squash it. I'll never say any stuff thing about you as long as you stick to that too, and we'll be friends again, and maybe we'll work together and do something.
When we see Be Real right now, he can come hang with us right now, man. It's cool. For real, because we got past.
There's no beef whatsoever. I mean, when I squashed it with him and I said my piece, that was it, Mac 10-2.
The beef between Cypress Hill and Westside Connection was one that began with two sides coming together to do something special, and then things just didn't go as planned. Fortunately, outside of one physical situation, things stayed in the booth, with both sides putting out solid diss tracks, thus elevating the culture and leaving a mark in history. Let us know in the comments if you remember this beef going down, and who you think came out on top. If you guys liked the video, then check out these other great stories that left their mark in hip-hop history. Help us out by liking, sharing, and commenting. And make sure to subscribe if you're new, because we're dropping new stuff like this every week. Thanks for hanging out with us today. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.